Maybe this morning feels heavier than you expected. You open your eyes, but your heart still feels tired. Tired of carrying silent worries. Tired of wondering if life will ever become clearer. Some people smile through the day while secretly fighting battles nobody else can see. And maybe that has been you lately. What if the future you fear is not the future God sees for you? Before the sun fully rises today, I want you to hold on to one powerful promise from Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans for peace and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Those words were spoken to people living in uncertainty, people who felt lost, delayed, and discouraged. Yet God reminded them that He had not forgotten their story. And maybe that is exactly what your soul needs to hear right now. Because even when you cannot understand the road ahead, God already sees the ending. Even when doors close, when prayers seem delayed, and when fear whispers that nothing will change, the Lord is still working quietly behind every unseen moment of your life. There are moments in life when everything feels paused. You pray, you try again, but nothing seems to move. The opportunities you hoped for never arrived. The answers you asked God for seem delayed. And little by little, discouragement begins to settle quietly into the heart. Sometimes the hardest part is not the struggle itself. It is wondering if your life will ever change. Maybe you have looked at other people and secretly questioned why their path seems clearer than yours. Maybe you have asked yourself if you missed your chance, if you made too many mistakes, or if your future somehow slipped away while you were trying to survive. Difficult seasons dot, but Jeremiah 29:11 speaks directly into moments like these. For I know the plans I have for you, not plans that are random, not forgotten plans, not broken plans. God says He knows. Even when you do not dot and that changes everything dot, there is something deeply comforting about realizing that your current situation is not the full picture. What feels like delay to you may actually be preparation in the hands of God. The silence you are experiencing does not mean heaven abandoned you. Sometimes God works most powerfully in seasons where nothing appears to be happening on the surface, like seeds hidden beneath the ground before spring arrives. Some of the most important parts of your future are developing, where you cannot yet see them. The enemy wants exhaustion to convince you that your story is over. Fear wants you to believe that closed doors mean permanent defeat. But the Lord speaks differently over your life. His plans are for peace and not for disaster. That means your pain is not meaningless. That heartbreak did not escape His attention. Those nights filled with anxiety were not invisible to Him. Even now, God is guiding pieces of your life together in ways your human eyes cannot fully understand. And maybe this is the moment where you stop measuring your future by what you currently see, because if God truly holds your tomorrow, then your present struggle cannot cancel His promise. Think about how many times you survived seasons you thought would break you completely. Somehow, grace carried you through. Somehow, strength appeared again the next morning. Somehow, God kept breathing hope back into your tired soul, even when you felt empty. That was not luck. That was the quiet faithfulness of God. And if He carried you before, He can carry you again. So do not let temporary confusion make permanent decisions for your life. Do not walk away from hope simply because the process feels longer than expected. Sometimes the chapter that hurts the most becomes the chapter where God reveals His greatest mercy. If this prayer is speaking to your heart today, stay with me until the end, because I believe God wants to remind you that your future is still filled with hope, purpose, peace, and unseen possibilities that are already being prepared for you. There is a kind of fear that people rarely talk about out loud. It is the fear of the future. The fear of waking up tomorrow and carrying the same burdens again. the fear that life may never become lighter. Sometimes anxiety does not arrive loudly. Sometimes it quietly settles into the mind before sunrise, filling the heart with questions that seem impossible to answer. What will happen to my family? Will things ever improve financially? Will this season of loneliness ever end? Am I still moving toward the purpose God has for me? These thoughts can become exhausting. You try to stay strong during the day, but deep inside, your soul feels tired from carrying invisible weight. And the hardest part is that many people around you may never fully understand the battle happening within you. They see your smile, but they do not hear the prayers whispered late at night when nobody else is listening. Yet Jeremiah 29:11 speaks directly into anxious hearts. For I know the plans I have for you. Notice something powerful in those words. God never said that you must know every detail of the future. He never demanded that you carry tomorrow on your shoulders. Instead, He reminds you that He already knows. While your mind races with uncertainty, heaven remains steady. While you struggle to understand the next step, God is already standing in the days you have not reached yet. That means your future is not wandering aimlessly through darkness. God sees every moment ahead of you with complete clarity. Right now, you may only see confusion, but God sees restoration. You may see delay. God sees preparation. You may see closed doors. God sees protection. There are moments when unanswered prayers are not rejection at all, but divine guidance gently leading you away from paths that were never meant for your peace. And sometimes, the greatest act of faith is not having all the answers. Sometimes faith is simply waking up again, breathing again, praying again, and trusting that God is still writing a beautiful story even when the pages feel painful. The truth is, many people are exhausted because they are trying to control everything. They carry responsibilities, fears, expectations, and future worries that were never meant to rest entirely on human shoulders. Little by little, anxiety begins to steal peace from their mornings and rest from their nights. But listen carefully to this. God did not create you to live trapped in constant fear about tomorrow. The same God who placed the stars in the sky is fully aware of every detail surrounding your life. Right now, He sees the tears nobody else noticed. He sees the silent disappointments you buried deep inside your heart. He sees the moments when you almost gave up, but somehow kept moving forward anyway. And maybe today, God is inviting you to release the weight you were never supposed to carry alone. Imagine standing at the edge of a long road at sunrise. The horizon stretches far beyond what your eyes can see. There are mountains ahead you cannot yet understand, valleys you have not walked through, blessings you cannot imagine, and miracles quietly forming in places hidden from you right now. Even though the road is uncertain to you, it is not uncertain to God. He already walks ahead of you. He already knows the doors that will open. He already knows the healing your heart will experience. He already knows the moments that will restore your faith after seasons of disappointment. That is why fear does not have to control your life anymore, because your future is not being written by anxiety. It is being held by the hands of God. And even now, while you listen to this prayer in the quiet of this morning, something inside your spirit may already be beginning to breathe again. Hope may still feel fragile, but God is gently reminding you that fragile hope can still become powerful faith when it is placed in His hands. Father, this morning we come before you with open hearts. Some of us are carrying burdens that feel too heavy to explain. Some are exhausted from fighting silent battles day after day. Others are trying to smile while hiding fear, uncertainty, and deep emotional pain inside. But right now, in this quiet moment, we choose to bring everything into your presence. Your word says in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans for peace and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Lord, let those words settle deeply into every anxious heart listening today. Where there has been fear, breathe peace. Where there has been confusion, bring clarity. Where there has been discouragement, awaken hope again. Some people listening to this prayer feel lost in life right now. They do not understand why certain doors closed. They do not understand the delays, the waiting, or the silent seasons that seem to stretch longer than expected. But Father, remind them gently that you are still working even when nothing appears to be changing. Teach us to trust you even when we cannot yet see the full picture. Help us surrender the future into your hands. So many times we try to control every outcome because we are afraid of being hurt, afraid of failing, afraid of uncertainty. But today, Lord, we release those fears before you. We release the pressure of trying to figure everything out alone. We release the anxiety about tomorrow. We release the worry about finances, relationships, health, family, and the future. And in exchange, fill our hearts with your peace, not temporary peace based on circumstances, but deep peace that remains steady even in uncertain seasons. Lord, for the person listening right now who feels emotionally tired, wrap them in your comfort. Let them feel that they are not abandoned. Remind them that their life still has purpose. Remind them that this difficult chapter is not the end of their story. Even now, as the morning light rises across the sky, let your presence rise inside every heart listening to this prayer. Like sunlight slowly covering the mountains after a long dark night, let hope begin to shine again inside weary souls. Father, you already know every detail about the future we cannot yet see. You know the prayers we have cried in secret. You know the dreams we are afraid to hope for again. You know the pain we rarely speak about out loud. And still, your promise remains. Plans for peace. Plans filled with hope. So today we choose faith over fear. We choose trust over anxiety. We choose to believe that even in silence, you are still guiding us. And Lord, if someone listening feels like giving up, please strengthen them right now. Let this prayer become a turning point in their spirit. Let them feel your nearness in a real and personal way. Calm every restless thought. Quiet every storm inside their mind. Remind them that you are already standing in the future, preparing the way ahead. And as this new day begins, let every heart listening remember one simple truth. Your plans are still greater than our fears. There are seasons when people begin to believe they are too far gone, too broken, too delayed, too exhausted to dream again. Maybe life did not unfold the way you expected. Maybe you thought you would be further ahead by now. Sometimes disappointment becomes so familiar that hope starts feeling dangerous. Because after enough pain, the heart becomes afraid to expect anything good anymore. But God has not forgotten you. Jeremiah 29:11 was spoken to people living in uncertainty, people surrounded by disappointment and confusion about the future. Yet even there, God declared that his plans were still filled with peace and hope. That means difficult seasons do not cancel divine purpose. Delays do not destroy the promises of God over your life. And maybe that is what you need to hear today. You are not abandoned in this process. Even when growth feels invisible, God is still working beneath the surface. Think about a seed buried deep in the ground. For a long time, nothing appears to happen. No visible change. No breakthrough, no sign of life. But underneath the soil, something powerful is quietly developing. Roots are growing in hidden places before anything becomes visible above the surface. Many times, God works the same way in our lives. While you are praying, waiting and wondering if anything is changing, heaven is already preparing things you cannot yet see. Strength is being formed inside you. Wisdom is growing through the struggles you survived. Your heart is learning deeper trust in God during seasons where answers seem delayed. And one day, what felt buried will begin to bloom. This is why you cannot allow temporary discouragement to define your future. Your current emotions are not the final truth about your life. Fear may whisper that nothing will improve, but God continues speaking hope over your story. There is still purpose ahead of you. There are still moments of joy you have not experienced yet. There are still prayers waiting for their appointed time. There are still mornings where peace will return to your heart in ways you cannot imagine right now. Sometimes we assume God is absent because he is silent. But silence does not mean abandonment. A teacher can remain quiet during a test and still be present in the room. In the same way, God remains near even during the seasons where life feels unclear. And perhaps this morning is the beginning of something new inside your spirit. Not because every problem instantly disappears, but because your perspective begins to change. Instead of seeing only closed doors, you begin seeing possibilities again. Instead of believing your life is stuck forever, you slowly start trusting that God is still guiding every step. So if your heart feels tired today, do not give up on hope. Do not stop praying. Do not stop believing that better days can still come. The same God who carried you through your hardest nights is still holding your future in his hands. And even now, while the morning light slowly rises outside, heaven is quietly reminding your soul that your story is not finished yet. Life can change so quickly. One season feels calm, and suddenly everything becomes uncertain. Plans shift. People leave. Unexpected struggles appear without warning. In moments like these, many hearts begin to panic because uncertainty makes people feel unsafe. We naturally want answers. We want clarity. We want to know how everything will unfold before we take the next step. But Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us of something powerful. While our circumstances may change, God's plans remain steady. The same God who watched over you yesterday is still watching over you today. The same God who carried you through past storms is still present in this current season of your life. Even when emotions rise and fear tries to overwhelm your thoughts, his promise remains unchanged. For I know the plans I have for you. There is deep comfort in knowing that your future rests in the hands of a God who already sees every detail ahead. Nothing catches him by surprise. Not your struggles, not your disappointments, not the tears you cried when nobody else noticed. Heaven has never lost sight of your story. And maybe this morning, God is asking you to stop measuring your life only by what you see right now. Because faith often begins where certainty ends. Sometimes, the greatest spiritual growth happens during seasons where we are forced to trust God one day at a time. Not because we understand everything, but because we slowly learn that his presence is enough to keep moving forward. Even now, as the light of a new morning stretches across the sky, God is still surrounding your life with unseen grace. He's still opening doors at the right time, still protecting you from things you do not even realize, still guiding your steps quietly, patiently, faithfully. You may feel tired, but you are not alone. You may feel uncertain, but you are not abandoned. You may not understand the timing, but God has not stopped working. So take a deep breath this morning and let your heart rest in this promise. The future does not belong to fear. It belongs to the God who loves you, walks beside you, and continues preparing a path filled with hope. Before this prayer ends, hold on to this truth one more time. Your life is not forgotten. Even if this season has been painful, confusing, or emotionally exhausting, God is still writing your story with purpose. Jeremiah 29:11 is not just a beautiful verse to read during peaceful moments. It is a promise meant for difficult seasons. A promise for people who feel uncertain about tomorrow. A promise for hearts searching for hope again. For I know the plans I have for you. Not fear, not disaster, not abandonment, but peace, hope, and a future dot. And maybe today, that is exactly what your soul needed to hear. You do not have to carry tomorrow alone anymore. You do not need to have every answer before taking the next step. God is already standing in the future, preparing what you cannot yet see. Even now, while you continue walking through uncertain moments, heaven is still moving quietly on your behalf. One day, you may look back at this season and realize that God was protecting you, strengthening you, and guiding you in ways you could never fully understand at the time. Sometimes the chapters that feel the most painful become the very chapters where faith grows, the deepest dots. So as this morning begins, choose hope again. Choose to believe that better days are still possible. Choose to trust that God's plans are greater than your present fears. And if your heart feels weak today, remember this: even small faith is still faith. Even quiet prayers are still heard by heaven. Even tired souls are still deeply loved by God. Keep praying. Keep believing. Keep walking forward one day at a time, because your future is still filled with possibilities that only God can see right now. If this prayer encouraged you today, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this prayer with someone who may need hope this morning. And now, before you go, I want to ask you something simple but deeply personal. What area of your life do you need to fully place into God's hands today? Maybe it is your future, your family, your health, your peace of mind. Whatever it is, write it in the comments below. Sometimes one honest sentence can become the beginning of healing, faith, and hope again.